show. Yeah, not your mama's art show. Yeah, wherever we go, it's not your mama's art show. Yeah. It's not your mama's art show. Yeah, not your mama's art show. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? It's Not Your Mama's Art Show. Today we have the great and powerful Russell Campbell.
I'm powerful and great. How's it going, guys?
It's going good, man. Going good. How are you doing, Chelsea? I didn't
great.
introduce you this time.
you
I'm so
didn't.
sorry.
It's
I didn't
fine.
introduce myself either.
It's okay.
But this is Zach Jones speaking to you from beyond the. I'm not dead, so not the grave, but somewhere. And Chelsea Aiken, my
Hello.
platonic blue-haired, aerial-looking pal.
Ariel has red hair, first of all.
You look very seaworthy right now.
Oh, thank you.
Very seaworthy. Oh man, how you been, bro? With all this lovely pandemic going on.
I have just been trying to create, trying to stay awake, trying to stay away from the news.
That's
It's very hard to do. I've been fortunate that I have a job where I work during the pandemic, so and then I come home and try to sleep and try to create, and then probably go back to sleep. And that's what I did most of the day today. So
Nice.
Makes sense. Very cool.
But yeah.
Well, when did you start doing art?
I would say probably my conception was about 8th grade.
Okay.
I had an art teacher that actually believed in the stupid crap I was drawing all over my binders.
Yeah.
You know those binders you had that were like plastic? And you
Oh,
could draw
God.
on them. I drew on them with a Bic pen because I thought I want to be cool and
Yeah.
But I would draw the exact opposite of what he would want the kids to draw. Like he'd be like, all right, I want y'all to draw a barn with a whatever. And I'd be like, I'm going to draw the clown from It. Because I was, Pennywise, I was reading that and then that movie. That's when that movie came out. I'm so old.
Whatever.
The TV movie. But
Oh, you mean not the? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, you are old.
the original It. Yes. And
Want to give me a kiss, fat boy?
exactly.
Hiya, Georgie. Hiya, Georgie.
He sounded like he's from New Jersey every time. What's going on?
You want to float?
Want to float down here?
Yeah. Now it's like really like childish.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But I started doing that and then just kind of followed through high school. I was the annoying art kid in high school.
Everyone asking you to draw shit.
Yeah,
stuff.
and they're like, hey, can you draw me a T-shirt for my whatever? And I'm like, my band logo. And I'm like, I'd do it, but I wouldn't, But I kind of fell off. I went out to TSDC to do graphic art and realized that I didn't have the, what do you call it, drive to do it because it was like staying at school all day long. And I was like, this is not what I want to do. It's not what I'm interested in. So I didn't actually start painting until like recently, like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like my mommy, she got me like a paint set for Christmas. I know, it's terrible. But she was like, here, do something with this, like create something. And I was like, I let it sit in my living room for about a month and it was just kind of like, And then I got on YouTube and I was like, I'm going to teach myself to love this again,
Definitely.
And I started going down that rabbit hole of YouTube of just watching tutorials and watching what kind of brushes they used and what kind of paint they used and what kind of mediums and all this stuff. And I learned all the terminology again. And I was like, this is kind of what I want to do.
Yeah.
I was going through a rough time, had a divorce a few years ago and stuff like that. And so I was like, I got to find something to keep me occupied because cleaning my house, 3 times a week is just not doing it.
Yeah, no, that,
So is that typically what you use as paint is like your medium of choice? Like
Yeah.
acrylic paint?
Yeah, it's mostly acrylic. I don't have the patience for oil. And I mean, with acrylic, you can blend a lot better. I really want to get into some of the spray art and stuff like that. I just don't have the like set up at my house because I don't want to, spray paint my garage. It'll turn everything different colors.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Yeah.
I did set up some plastic sheeting the other day. So I'm sure my neighbors are like, Dexter lives next door. What the hell is he doing? So, because sometimes I'll use spray, just as far as like maybe like a stencil or maybe a background or something. Or, there are times when I've had a painting for forever and I just get sick of it and I go, I'm painting over this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start over and do something different because the canvases I use are pretty expensive. So
oh yeah, definitely.
I use those like real thick 3D ones.
Real thick, fancy ones.
The gallery wrapped from Michaels.
What's the reason you use those by chance?
Well, because they kind of already look like they're in a frame. Like
Yeah.
if you just paint the sides black or like a color, and they just, I don't know. To me, they look a little bit better. They look a little bit more sturdy on the wall.
Oh yeah.
And if someone buys one of my paintings, they're probably going to go get it framed anyway if they want to.
Yeah.
You know, and they have that option. And also, I've recently started to incorporate some 3M lighting, 3M LED
Yes.
lighting on the back of them,
Oh,
like on
that's
the
cool.
inside, so they fit really well on the inside, and you can put all the little controller with the remote and everything like that. Well, eventually when I get a website or something like that, I mean, I mostly sell stuff off of Facebook and word of mouth and like the markets and stuff. And but I always tell people, hey, I'm kind of, you know, if you want lighting, let me know, and it'll be a little extra or whatever. But so yeah, that's mainly why I use them.
That makes sense. Where did you? So, like, you have a very distinct style. Like, there's like a lot of artists here in Waco, and we all have our very own distinct style. Where did that come from? Because like, you have this whole thing with like these really bright, badass colors that you just saturate the whole background with. Then you have these black and white, like really stoic figures in the front ground, or like really just like almost silhouette. Like I'd call you like the king of the silhouette painting. Of like Waco, Texas, for sure.
Yeah, stencil style.
Yeah, stencil style, definitely.
I honestly did that because it was a little easier.
Yeah,
Just because I can't really draw from memory. I can draw by looking at something.
same. Yeah.
So if I found that image, like the Edgar Allan Poe one that I did, I went and bought one of those books that has all of his poems in it, and I was like, I'm gonna tear these out. And I found out about Mod Podge for the first time because I didn't know what that was.
Mod Podge, hell yeah.
What is Mod
It's
Podge? I don't
like
even
paper
know what
mache.
it is.
Yeah, it's
kinda.
like a glue medium essentially. It just dries really clear. You can put a bunch of stuff together
You
with
see,
it.
I just ate glue. I never
Yeah.
used it.
Exactly. Same. But
Smelled it real good. It was like, whatever.
I did that one for a black and white art show that I curated at Classy Glass, and
Okay.
I was like, I want to have his poems out there, and then I wanted to do that stoic stencil that everyone knows that's who that is. And I mean, I did it, and I was like, ooh, I like using Mod Podge. I like using, mixed media. And then I was like, oh, am I a mixed media artist now, or am I doing this or whatever? And I wanted to do that, and that painting sold in like a week.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I was just like, okay, I may be onto something here. I really like big, bold, sometimes black and white, sometimes lots of color that people will it'll stand out in a room,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't do landscapes. I'm not painting a barn. I'm not painting, blue bonnets and, sunsets and stuff. Like,
Mainly
but
like
I do
portrait art.
No, I mean, I can't draw. Like, I couldn't draw you if I mean, I probably would. It'd take me about 5 hours if I were to, but this is the character man over here. He's got the drawings. But
It took a lot of years, man.
I haven't really done a lot of portraits. Oh, we got a bug.
Nat.
That's our mascot.
Yes.
Name's Natty Nat.
Nat King Cole.
See, you are old.
I did it again.
You just did it.
Damn it.
That was on Mike's playlist from high school.
Shout out to Mike. But yeah, man, I don't really know if I have an own style yet. I just want to create, just big bold pieces, and sometimes I'll do color, and then sometimes I do abstracts. Like I've been really getting into abstracts a lot lately, and I've done really well at some of the markets with the abstracts too.
Oh, yeah.
I just shipped one to California about a month ago to a homegirl of mine, and she was just like, "Dude, it's already on my wall. Check it out." And I was like, "Oh man, that just, that really throws your drive, into overdrive, kind of, when you're like, someone wants my art, and brings someone joy, or
Definitely.
happiness or whatever, calmness,
Yeah.
So
Do you have anybody that really like inspired you to do art, or artists that do inspire you to kind of change up what you're doing?
I'm inspired every day by just local guys like Zach, Armando, Sean Skellington, Scoob, and Sean, like those dudes, how they can crank out paintings
It's
and just, or murals or something like that. I mean, I wish for Christmas to have the drive that Sean does, because that dude's got like 12 things going at one
Yeah,
time.
always.
Skellington Curiosity, what's up? Shout
Definitely
out.
a huge
But,
shout out to them.
I mean, Sean's got his own style, and I mean, those furniture pieces that he cranks out and stuff like that. Like
The
I was
coffin
like,
pieces that he's doing too, the
yeah,
shelves.
what are they called? Shadow box? Are they just shelves or
I think
shadow?
they're just like coffin
shelves?
shelves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's. I mean, that's the drive that I want. Like sometimes I may crank out one painting a month, you know, and I'm like, this dude's doing 3 a day.
Yeah.
I'm like, how does he do it with a shop and his kid and everything else? And so, but they're great people. I mean, they inspire me, just
Definitely.
local people. And then I have some people that I do the markets with that are older that just paint stuff around Baylor. Melanie Stokes.
Okay.
Yeah, I
she's
remember her.
she's phenomenal. I did an oil class with her, and I was the tardy kid. I didn't pay attention, and I was trying to be funny with this gaggle of hens, that was doing the art class and stuff. But she's so knowledgeable and so, gave me so much information. But then I was like, yeah, I'm still not gonna do oil because I didn't have the patience for it. But I did learn a lot, if I actually do decide to do oil one day. So,
That's awesome.
but yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
And I'm still inspired by people who make crafts and stuff too, like
Yeah.
Jessica at MC Art.
Oh yes.
Yeah, she does a ton
Like
of
we
stuff.
bought a coffee mug from her the other day at one of the markets, and I mean it's just really cool. It's just very unique, because like they're not all the same. They're all custom made. I love custom made stuff. You know?
Yeah, that's
Like
you
there's
can't get
only one of these, and I have it.
definitely.
So,
Definitely. So you've been talking a lot about doing a lot of markets and stuff like that. So how do you go about pricing and setting up and all this kind of situation?
I still don't know what I'm doing as far as pricing. I just kind of think, the amount of time I spent, the amount of paint that I use, the price of the canvas, stuff like that. And I'm kind of one of those that's like, I'm not going to leave money on the table, but I'm also not going to sell myself short kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
if I tell somebody, hey, this is $300, and they go, nah, I'll give you $50. I'm like, well, I'm not
That's not
taking
it.
your $50. You don't get it. You don't get what I had to go through
Yeah, no.
to do this. It's not like traumatic or anything, but it's like, I spent a lot of time,
It's
a lot
a
of
lot of stuff.
detail, stuff like that. And then just, doing the markets I get asked to do, like I'm doing one on Saturday at the Karen Sistrunk Gallery at MC Art. I'll probably be down at MC Art. I'm not sure. I'm usually down on that end, but
Yeah.
the December art walk, that we have, I mean, there's going to be like 30 something artists there.
Definitely.
And I mean, so we pop a tent up, or I mean, I've got a tent, but I haven't popped it up yet, but pop up some tables, throw out, I've got prints of most of the paintings that I've had or sold or whatever. And I've got prints, and I sell prints and just kind of hang out all day and be around a collective of people that are just, I mean, everyone has their own little thing, I mean, you did the one before.
Yeah, that's how we met. That's how me and him met. And we're just
And
like,
I keep telling you, get some prints made, dude, because
I know. Yeah, that's the thing.
You
That's
know?
the deal that I need to do for
I
sure.
mean, he's got so much uniqueness to his stuff and creativeness, and I was just like, man, you got to get some prints, dude.
It was funny as hell on that exact market we went to. I set up in like this corner, and I swear to God, every old person or every kid would like avoid my table like the plague. But anytime anybody with tattoos or any sort of thing showed up looking a little like, they would walk to my table. I'm like, oh, these are my people.
Yeah.
This is what's going on. But I walk up to the owner, MC Art Supplies, Aaron, shout out. And I'm like, what did you spray around my table to like get all the anti-old people out of here? Like, what did I do? They were just like running away.
Well, you're like 9 foot tall, dude.
Yeah.
Well, you're very intimidating to little children. They're probably like,
I thought they'd think I was like Barney or something. Like Wreck-It Ralph. Like, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't like wearing like a frickin' death metal t-shirt or something like that.
It's just weird with these markets, though. Like sometimes, I'll get a lot of, feedback, a lot of traction, and then sometimes it's like, phew,
Nothing.
nada. And I mean, it's the good with the bad. You got to take it. You know?
Definitely. No, I love it. I love the interactions you get with the art. I mean, my main thing is getting the interactions with the artists. I mean, that's the best part. I mean, just talking to everybody, because it was like you, Mac, me, Aaron, like all those guys. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Mac. She's awesome.
her ceramics are great. We might want to have you on the show.
Yeah, Mac, if you listen to us, get ready.
Get ready. I'd assume she's gonna do it. We got. We're
No, she
maybe.
will.
Are you talking about Shay?
Shay?
Yeah.
I don't know Shay.
Oh,
Well,
Shay.
Shay Scranton.
Oh, Shay's last name is McMoran, I think. So I
No.
thought you were talking
Oh,
about
no.
that.
There's two prominent Shays in Waco that I've figured out. There's Shay Scranton, which is the True Love Shay. That's
Okay.
that guy. And then there's this other Shay. We don't know the other Shay, but we would like to know the other
You need to
Shay.
get her on the podcast.
Other Shay.
She is phenomenal. She does a lot of character type art and stuff.
Awesome.
Okay.
I've bought like a bunch of prints from her one time from Game of Thrones, because I have like a little Game of Thrones thing going on.
Nice.
So she's phenomenal. She's great. And then T Aguilar too.
T's crazy.
Dude, I've known that dude since I don't even know, like 98.
Definitely.
So I've been through some stuff with him, but like I mean, he constantly inspires me that he can just out of thin air just create something.
Yeah.
I have to have like a reference material and all that stuff. I'm like, hey, how do you just belt out stuff like that? I mean, dude's a true living artist.
Definitely.
Phenomenal.
So like, I don't know about you, but like with me, like there's specific times that I can really make art. Like I make a lot of art. I have to be in a certain type of mood. I have to be in a certain type of space. If I'm stressed out, if I got a bunch of work going on, like I'm just like, I'm almost useless at it.
Right.
So like, what is your ideal like environment for doing art? You know what I mean? Like mentally, like whatever.
I cannot do anything during the day.
Yeah.
Like I create all night long until the sun comes up, and then I'm like, okay, time for bed.
It's like
I have to be in my own. Like I have a little art room in my house, but I don't even use it. I use my living room because I have to have something on the TV, maybe even the volume down. I'll have music playing. I'll have the dishwasher going for ambiance, or something.
Awesome.
But I mean, I have to have things going, and then I just have to. I mean, I tape down my kitchen table, and then I just I go to work. I've got an easel when I get ready to actually paint, and then sometimes I'll just throw it on the table and paint because I'm very messy with painting. So like I'll start painting something, and then I'll have a towel, and I'll like back the brush, and then it's like getting all over the floor. I've used turpentine and like lacquer thinner on my because I've got tile floors.
Yeah.
So I've used that on my tile so many times. And I'm like, I really probably should put down something because I'm just getting this crap everywhere.
That's when you do the American Psycho and you just put
exactly
like all the plastic down.
Exactly.
Hey, Paul.
But sometimes what's weird though. I'll spend 2 hours prepping, and then I'll go like, I want to go get something to eat, and
Isn't that the worst?
and then I just procrastinate for 2 days, and then I'm like, oh, I got all my paint out, I'm ready.
Yeah.
But then I can lose the drive in like 2 seconds, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch this movie real quick, and then,
No, that makes
come back to it. But I don't like stressing myself out. Like if I have a market, I don't want to go, well, I'm gonna paint all week every night, and then stress myself out to get ready for the market. I want to be able to have stuff on hand and go, okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I did all this year. So this will be my last market this year. So
It's your last market?
yeah, not forever, but just for this year. So I'm gonna spend some time hibernating and creating and stuff, and have some stuff ready for next year. Because I know in the spring, hopefully when it gets warmer.
Hopefully when it gets warmer, all the corona will go away.
Yeah.
We can only hope.
During this whole thing, Waco, we've adapted.
Definitely.
I know that a lot of the establishments have suffered and stuff, but like I just want to quick shout out to Mark and Mark Kieran and Susan Sistrunk. I mean, for doing these markets and stuff, because they know that we've had a lot of inventory as artists at home during the pandemic, and they're like, hey, let's just have like a yard sale thing.
That's awesome.
Let's just why don't y'all just pop up a table and bring what you got.
Yeah.
And see what happens, and you're responsible for your own stuff. They didn't charge us, any kind of booth fee or
that's
anything
nice.
like that. And they're just great people because they know, that people are struggling, and it was surprising to me how many people came to that and were like, we're buying art,
Definitely.
buying actual paintings and stuff. I did very well, and I was pleasantly surprised, and I was like, this isn't supposed to happen. Like no one's supposed to be spending money on art right now. Like. But
That's the
they
first
were.
thing you think would be gone is like
Right.
all the art would be like no.
Well, Twitter, I will say Twitter has been a really big hub for small business owners and artists because somebody will post something like, oh, I need to get my last minute Christmas gifts. What do you have on stock? And they'll just send pictures of what they have in their inventory, and a bunch of people will buy from it. So Twitter is a good resource for local artists,
and like
small artists.
as Waco's got, we hit the coronavirus, and then like Skellington markets popped up. Those ones, the markets you were talking about popped up. Like Eastside came back. I mean, like everything just came back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
And people were still buying and doing all that stuff out here, which is insane.
It's because you can have the outdoor stuff because we don't have winters here, I mean,
it's great.
I was still wearing flip-flops 2 weeks ago, but it's like one of those things I was talking to Sean, and I was like, well, what are you going to do? Is y'all shop going to have closed? He's like, hell no, dude, we're having a market next week. And I'm like, what? He's like, outside, bro, we're going to do it. They're not going to tell me I can't have a market, and
Definitely.
because it was outside, social distance, everybody's wearing masks, and I mean, they're thriving. Every month their thing gets bigger and bigger.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I bought some last time I did some photos with them, but I bought some badass soap from this one girl there. Like they have like craft soaps and stuff like that. And like I just walked up because she was nice. She was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'm like, I'm not gonna like blow you off and not show up. But like I just bought this like it was like old man. It smelled. It was literally called like old man soap or something like that. And like I smelled it. It was like patchouli and like.
He's like, yes, this is the
I was
one.
like, this is it. And it was like $6. I got you. And like, you like take it out and there's like a cinnamon stick like lodged in there. And I was like, dude, this is the kind of crap that like they need to like have in like Walgreens or something like that.
Yeah, if anyone listening has never not been to a Skellington market, you need to make
or an
plans,
east side
or an east side.
any of those.
I mean, support local, but I mean, like, there's so many vendors at like Skellington that are just different and odd. But like, I think.
And they don't have like a brick and mortar. Like that's another thing. Like I mean, like artists like you and me, we don't have a brick and mortar spot. So I mean, yeah, that's another spot.
I like it. It's kind of like guerrilla style, you know. It's just like I'm gonna pop up a tent. I'm gonna bring what I got. You know, here's my stuff. And I mean, I just bought 2 tables and just bought some fancy tablecloths and bought a tent. And Sean's just like, put it all right there, bro. And you know, I mean, they're just great.
Definitely.
You charge like cash for it, or do you have like PayPal?
I have never had cash on me. I don't think I've had cash on me in 6 months. I do Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, stuff like that. I was thinking about getting a swipey thing,
the
but
Squarespace card or whatever.
Yeah, but then
you don't need it anymore.
You
Be
really
honestly,
don't.
like biggest tip out there from like 2 artists that have sold stuff. Go grab your phone and download Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo because everyone's got one of them.
or Apple Pay. I mean, someone paid me through Facebook one time. I was like, how does that work?
Kate Ramirez, shout out.
Yeah.
She paid me through Facebook one time. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
This is amazing. So I mean, there's so many ways to like send money virtually.
Most of the cool kids know about the apps now.
Most of the cool kids.
You got the app.
Every now and then, like I've had one guy who just happened to have 300 on him, and I was like, well, it's 300, and he's like, okay, here you go. And I was like, oh, sweet.
That's always
Good thing you don't need to change because I ain't got no
cash is kind of king in that situation for sure.
Yeah.
So, where have you exhibited at all? Like, have you exhibited anywhere?
I curated some stuff at Classy Glass. We had some artists, just a little collective of artists we did there. I did a couple of shows there. I've had some paintings at Cultivate, 712 for the Banksy exhibit. I don't know if you were.
I wasn't there.
Was the writing on the wall?
Yeah.
T and I actually had pieces at that show. I mean, we were just cool. we were tripping out because I mean,
you exhibited with Banksy.
Yeah,
that's a huge that's something you can put on your resume.
Yeah, and Waco Winery. I don't even think they're open anymore. Sad.
I don't think so.
But
shout out to the dead.
I had some stuff at Waco Winery, and trying to think anywhere else. My dad's living room.
That's perfect. Hey, I mean, the fridge.
My mom's hallway. My mother's hallway has one of my pieces.
Nice.
Are you interested in getting into the gallery spaces at all, or is that really not true?
I mean, yeah, I would. I'd love to get my art out anywhere that would be willing to take it, kind of thing. Yeah. But I don't spend a lot. Like when I do a painting and I'm done with it, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to Michael's and spend $50 to get a frame around it to do all that stuff, I mean, I just don't have the money for that, No. I got to have a feeling if someone likes it enough to buy it that they'll, here you go, you'll pick out your own frame.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no, definitely.
But I mean, I would love to, I'd love to be a part of any kind of gallery show or, any kind of pop up and stuff like that.
Oh, I love the guerrilla style stuff. The galleries, it's a little hit or miss. I mean, just depending upon how it's going to go. I've never actually been in. I've done a couple gallery stuff with Baylor, but that was about it. So I mean, that was just a gift of going to Baylor, which was interesting. But
go ahead. No, I was just saying I just kind of hope that people see my stuff and want to like say, oh well, we're doing a color exhibit. And, you've got some real colorful pieces. You want to put one in or something.
Definitely.
So. That's just kind of how the people hear about me is word of mouth. So.
Yeah, that's how I heard about you from this guy.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man. One love.
If you could collaborate with any artist, who would it be?
Ever. Like
Ever.
Doesn't matter. It can be a music. Could be anything. Doesn't matter.
Well, obviously, I'd like to collaborate with my favorite band, Deftones.
How many times have you seen them again?
Here we go.
How many times have you seen them again?
Does he bring it up every podcast he does? 67 times.
Mother. That's pretty awesome.
I know. I have a thing.
You
it's my thing.
Have a thing. I mean, that's a good thing to have.
But I mean, it would be awesome if they were just like, hey, you want to do our album cover? And I'm like, what is happening?
I think you'll do better than like the Ohm album cover. I don't like the Ohm album cover.
It was different.
It was definitely different.
You could buy one of those dots.
You could.
There were 10,000 or 20,000 dots in that album cover, and you could go and buy one, and it was really cool. It was $20 a dot, but the $20 went to a fund that helped their road crew.
Oh, that
helps, like, you know, because during the pandemic, like, no one's working.
Yeah.
So it went to a big, like, not necessarily their road crew, but like it went to a fund.
Roadie situation.
But then you got your name on it, and they, like, you know, they posted it and stuff. It was really cool.
Did you buy a dot?
I did. I bought 2 dots.
Not 2 dots. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm an asshole now.
No.
Fun of that.
It was. I don't know.
That's a badass concept. I just think they could have done a better idea than 2 goth eyes looking at everybody.
Yeah. Everyone was trying to figure out whose eyes they were.
Yeah.
What did it mean and all this kind of stuff. But like the album they did before called Gore was just flying flamingos.
Flying birds. Yeah, it was interesting.
And everyone was like, wait, do flamingos fly? And I'm like,
I like Diamond Eyes' cover, probably the best. I don't know. Like, something about album covers, I mean, we don't get that as much. We didn't get that in our generation as much, but like the album covers are such the best part of like music in certain aspects.
Sets the tone for the record.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you look at Green Day's Dookie,
Yeah.
like that album cover, you look at that and you're like, yeah, this is going to be a weird, funny, like it's going to be more humorous because it's just a bunch of dogs throwing crap at people. And that's what it is if you look at it.
Yeah.
But you look at like, for instance, the Deftones, and it's like you got White Pony. I don't know what I'm getting into, but then you get Change in the House of Flies in that freaking thing, and that thing was amazing. Shout out to you for showing me Queen of the Damned with that song in it.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
that song is in I don't know how many soundtracks, like at least 10.
It's so good.
That's the song that they're known for, and they play it every night whenever they play.
I'm sure they hate it by now.
I think they did at a time, but I think now they're just like, you know, this is what people are, you know, this is what the girls come for.
Yeah, it's like you got
You're not wrong.
that song, Tempest, like all that stuff. I like Engine Number 9. That's one of my favorites.
There you go.
What's one of your favorites songs?
My favorite song, gosh, probably Rosemary.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
cool.
my car's name too.
Rosemary.
Shout out to Rosemary.
My car's name is what's her name? Marianne. It's from so I have a Dodge Challenger and it's blue, and I call it a boat. And so I thought of Gilligan's Island because I'm an old soul. And
I'm the old one here.
I watched like all those old shows growing up.
What is a Gilligan's Island?
What is a Gilligan's Island? And like the smart, cute girl, not like the hoey, red-haired girl. Ginger was like, I was like, I don't want to name it after her, but Marianne, I was like, she's underrated. I'm gonna name my car after Marianne. And so that was it. So
It's good to have a car name.
it really is. What's your car's name?
I could just call it Subi.
Subi.
This is a Subaru.
Jesus
Nice.
Christ.
I heard those are very economically friendly.
They
I
are.
heard everyone
they
who
don't
has a Subaru
break down.
loves their Subaru.
When they don't break down, they're
hard,
great.
Hard to find parts.
Don't get your car at
is.
what's the spot? Don't get your car
No,
where?
shh. We can't name drop.
Uh-oh.
Don't get your car at this one spot.
Don't get your car. Well,
Lady by Bobber. Anyway.
that's what happens when you're young and you fuck your credit up.
Hey, what are all those places?
happens.
There's all those places that like you can spend $1, put $1 down today, no bad credit, no credit, bankruptcy.
Yeah, that's not.
And then
right.
your
It's
car
every
breaks
used
down.
car lot
Yeah.
on this road right
Yeah,
here.
on Franklin. Yeah,
Yes.
no. Now they know where we're at. Oh my god. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask. I'm almost asked this to everybody. What do you think of like what's one of your pet peeves about current art trends right now? Do you pay attention to any of that stuff or?
Not really a pet peeve. I kind of try to do my own thing, you know. My pet peeve that I found recently was that about 2 years ago I got into art acrylic pours, and you know, I mean, I think a lot of people maybe I caught the. You know, I was on the tail end of it, but I started doing them, and I got to do them with my niece and nephew, and then like I just really got into them, and I did a couple of pours and all this stuff, and then the next thing I know, I see pour kits at Walmart
Yes.
and Michael's and Target, and I'm like, oh, I'm definitely never doing a pour again. And then, of course, you know, your phone is listening to everything you say, and so all the stuff that pops up on my Facebook feed is learn how to do acrylic pours, blah 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 blah, and I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, I just kind of got a pet peeve with that certain style. And then I see people at markets who have nothing but pours, and they're cool. Don't get me wrong. And I mean, they're very unique and they're custom made.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of like, and I just turn away from it. I don't say anything to them.
No,
like that. Like to each is their own. But I'm kind of like,
Well, I think the biggest thing I could say is like one of your paintings is going to take you like a month, whatever, or however long. You could do their entire stock in like a week or even a day if you really wanted to, and that's where the issue comes in.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. Like about 3 years ago, I started doing pour pieces,
and she was good at them.
And
like she was legitimately good at them.
Everyone started doing it on Instagram, and I was just like,
and I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from anybody's creative process.
No.
Pours are very cool. They're very fun to do. They're very messy.
Yes.
And they take forever to dry.
Yeah.
But if you could do a pour and then incorporate something else, like if you had a piece, I mean, a lot of your stuff, like your background is like really abstract and stuff, and it could kind of come off as being
pour,
not a pour in a way, but like, you know, you're mixing a lot of color.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if you added like a cityscape to it or something like that to make it your own, you know, that I don't know, I'd have a lot more respect for, I guess, you know.
Definitely. It's just something adding more effort into it.
Yeah.
It's just effort. That's my biggest thing is like just effort.
I've got a piece that I'm bringing on Saturday to the Kieran's Just Drunk. I'll show it to you on my phone. But it's one I've been working on for 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm really, really proud of it. And I haven't put it on any, you know, online or anything like that because, you know, the 4 or 5 people that I've showed it to, they're like, oh, you're going to sell that. You're definitely going to sell that. And I was like, well, I'm not, it's not what I'm in it for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in it to create inspiration, you know, or whatever. But if someone likes it enough that they want to buy it, then I'm definitely going to sell it to them, you know.
Definitely.
But it may be one that I keep, you know, because I'm kind of looking at it now. I'm like, man, that would look really cool on that wall over there.
Yeah.
You know, but
do you keep a lot of your pieces? Have you kept a good amount of your pieces, or?
I have not.
Yeah.
I live with a painting maybe a year, and then I'm like, I've either going to paint over it or I'm going to sell it. Or give it to somebody, you know.
Oh yeah, I get sick of it. Oh no.
I have 2 or 3 right now that I have that are just more personal to me. Mm-hmm. Like I have that Bronson piece.
Yes,
I don't know if you
the
saw
Bronson piece, the blue one.
Yeah. Well, no, I made it the blue one, and then it's a smaller one. Then I was like, no, I want to go bigger, and I have lights around it on the inside of that one. So I kept that one because, well, it's more of like I'm really into British cinema, so I mean that movie is insane.
Shout out to Bronson starring Tom Hardy. If you have watched Tom Hardy movies, you have not watched a Tom Hardy movie like that.
Do you know how many people don't know that that's him?
What?
Yeah, they're like, I've never seen this movie, and I'm like, oh, you've never seen Bronson? I was like, well, here's the deal. You're going to need to devote a Friday night to it because it's going to screw you up all weekend after you watch it because it's a psychological, you know, prison movie in a sense. But, I mean, there's so many. He's such a great actor, and I was just like, you know, I saw that image one time. I was like, oh, I'm putting that on the biggest canvas I can get.
Well, Russell,
yeah,
thanks for coming on, man. We
appreciate it.
It's
I hope I didn't talk too much.
You didn't talk too much. That's what we want is you to talk. I mean, what are we here for? We're just here to facilitate it.
No, I appreciate it, man.
Thank you for coming on. Do you have anybody you'd like to shout out or anything like that? Anything going on?
Just shout out to the artists and creators, man, that constantly inspire people like me and you and everybody in the locals. You know, support local, especially during this time. And just, you know, if you don't have any art, buy some art.
Buy some art from some
Come
people
see me
in
on
town.
Saturday at the Kieran's Just Drunk Fine Art Gallery on Washington Avenue.
There you go.
I don't know the address, but you'll see us out there.
Definitely. You'll be good. Also,
11 to 3.
There you go. I want to do a shout out to Kate Ramirez. She's currently battling breast cancer.
Yes.
And
Lovely Kate.
We are all in support.
Yes.
And we are here for you if you need anything. And
100%.
just want to give them a shout out and send positive, good vibes towards their way. So, yeah, on that note, we will see you next time.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah. Not your mama's art show. Yeah, not your mama's art show. Yeah, wherever we go, it's not your mama's art show. Yeah. It's not your mama's art show. Yeah, not your mama's art show. Yeah.
This has been a Rogue Media. This has been a. Blah, 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 blah.